live. You are live. Or maybe
Okay, good.
let's try. Maybe we're here. Maybe we're here. Oh, you know what? Guess who
What?
didn't press the go live button? Hi, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. We're live now. Maybe that's why it didn't work with Instagram. What a crazy. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Come on in and say hello. Are we sure we're live? We're doing. Let's see. Let me just double check. Need any help? Not sure. Okay, we're gonna go to Instagram. I'm pretty sure that we're on. Guys, if you're okay, we're here. Everyone's here. Say hello. And here's the thing, guys. What ask your question, Amy. Go ahead and ask it.
Does everyone feel as if they are thriving at work? Okay, we are on Facebook, but not YouTube yet. Okay, and we want to be on YouTube?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. It says we're live on YouTube. Isn't that odd? Super odd. So guess what, guys? How about this? Should we do this? Carson, what do you think? Should we restart everything again? I can. I have you on YouTube. Oh, Diana says I have you on YouTube and on Facebook. Okay, excellent. Well, you know what? We're good. I'm just gonna see, and it's funny because on Instagram it says that we're live, but it's not showing that I'm live. So odd. So odd. I don't know, guys. Technical difficulties. Not really happy. Hey, Delora. Hey, everybody. Michelle, hello. Delora, hello. Michelle, hello. Well, we're just going to leave this up to chance. I'm saying that we are. It says that we're live on Instagram. I don't know why I can't find it on Instagram. But that's okay. All right. Hey, Beth, if anybody's on Instagram, please double check and see if we're live. Anyway, welcome everybody. Happy 3rd of July. I know this is a crazy day to do this, but we wanted to do this because, sometimes some of us, myself in particular, needs to be home with the fur babies because it gets crazy. It gets crazy on the 3rd of July. So we thought this would be a good chance to do this. I don't see us live on Instagram, but that's all right. It says on here that we're live, but I'm not seeing it. So not live on Instagram. Okay. All right. For whatever reason, we'll just leave it as such. So guess what? I am here with Amy, and Amy is not a stranger. Look at the beautiful book that she has created. College Career Explained: Tools, Skills, Confidence for Your Job Search. And there it is. And I want to tell you that in this book, okay, guys, there's some great nuggets of information. And I want to read something to you. Did anybody ever think that, to thrive at work, you have to suck up to your boss? Well, it's not sucking up if it's your boss. It's investing in getting ahead. Point of clarification: you want to then go ahead and do what they are recommending. That is difference between sucking up and really being an asset to them. That is really important. You spot on, Amy. Be faithful, be consistent, be results oriented, do what you can, be prepared, be committed, be appreciative. I feel that these are all amazing tools to really thrive at work. And you have another thing, you don't need to buy a book to tell you this because it's common sense. Jobs are like life. Common sense applies. And this is what's so cool because these little tidbits in here are just phenomenal. And you break out the book so well. But I want to just say that anybody, whether you're in a career, whether you are rewriting your resume, whether you are somebody that's going to college, this is and graduating from college, this is a book. You can use this tools for life, everyone. Tools for life. Hello, Evelyn. Good to see you. And I've always thought that. Yep, it's so true. So true. What is your favorite way of thriving in the workplace? What do you do?
Yeah, I'll jump in there, Elias, if I can, as people think
Yeah,
about that
please.
question. Yes, thank you for promoting my book. I did write it from a place of compassion and empathy for my former self, as well as for others. And yes, I have been told that it's absolutely useful for those who are not college graduates and who are not in a position where they're starting their career. And I actually, with the same tools that I have in that workbook, the book itself, I actually work with people up through the C-suite, people in transition. I love working with women, especially. And I specifically, one of the things that I learn and try to get across is a lot of businesses, managers, people they're just like us, celebrities just like us in sweatpants. A lot of it is just trying to use common sense and apply it and think about what you would do if you were on the other side of the hiring table, if you were on the other side of the performance review, if you were on the other side of the responsibility that your boss or your manager has. And once you start to think that way and put that hat on, a lot of things become very different and they become very clear. And I spent a lot of time in my career rising up to that place and then spending time in that place and then evaluating as a third party, as a management consultant and as an internal consultant. I got paid a lot to make the leap between bringing the teams who are the operating teams and the executives in the C-suite together to get them on the same page to be performing better. And there was a lot of what Elias does in kind of not the science so much as the art. And that's where I think a lot of the thriving really comes in, but also a great deal of common sense. So let me just tell you one thing that an issue that came up a lot, which is people think, oh, if I'm not doing a good job at work, if I'm not thriving at work, I'm not a good employee. Absolutely 100% not true. One of the things that comes up very, very frequently is someone says, gosh, I'm doing all this stuff that I know is right. I am, working to build a culture. I know I'm a really good manager. I know I'm developing people. Perhaps the reason why you are not thriving, I would say in likelihood, the reason why you are not thriving is that you are in a culture or a company that does not value those things. So there is a misconnect, a miscommunication, a misalignment of you doing things that you do well, that you love doing, but it's not valued. And that is a lot of times when I work with clients, I find that they're great people in jobs where they are not valued. If you follow any of the work that Mika Brzezinski is doing, I'm a big fan of hers, and she has many books that are written about know your worth, know your value, and it's designed to inspire confidence in women. I think she misses the point a lot of times. I think what she misses is that good people have to find jobs that are good for them. And that is one of the founding principles of the work that I do. And that first book that I wrote and another book that I have in the works is that there are always good jobs for good people, but the alignment has to be there. So if in any way you feel that you are not thriving at work, and I guess that's going to kind of ask the general question, if people feel like they're not thriving at work, I guess the question I would want to know is, What do you feel you are doing really well? And do you have a sense that the company values that and in turn values you? So I would want to ask people if they feel that they have a good understanding of what their companies value, and if they have good, clear communication about what the goal line is for them to be measured about what they do, for them to be promoted, what clear goals have been established for them to meet and hopefully exceed, to be promoted, to be given a raise, to be given a bonus, to get to the next level. And if that meets what they want, if they want to do those things, and if it's aligned both in what you like doing, what you're doing well, and what you think you can do to get to the next level, then you're going to be in a place where you're going to thrive. So that's kind of my baseline on thriving, and it's not rocket science, and it's not about personality clashes. It's more about being a lot, going in with a clear understanding of what it is you want and what it is your employer wants from you, and that's a lot more about common sense and about really having a clear vision of how you align, and that then we're kind of in Elias's world, right? So that's kind of my baseline. I'd really love to hear what people, it doesn't have to be necessarily along those lines, but I'd really love to hear what people are concerned about maybe in their workplace. And I absolutely don't have to talk about college grads or any type of workplace issue. I'd love to hear what people might be concerned about or worried about and be able to address that.
Can I ask you, Amy, would this even go like, so you and I are both self employed. If I say that I'm creating my own workplace
Uh-huh.
myself, this is about me too, thriving in how my business is doing, how am I motivated? Am I challenging myself enough? So if you guys are self-employed, don't feel like we're just talking about the workplace, a company, right? This can be, whether it's yourself, two people, four people. What do you need to do to thrive in the workplace, work field? That might give you guys a little bit more to think about. And thank you, Delora, for putting this up there.
Yeah,
Again,
thank
the
you.
book is College Career Explained: Tools, Skills for Your Job Search. Awesome, awesome. Um, Hi, Miranda, and thank you. Yes, Amy answered that, and yes, it's for anybody. Um, Dina, hello. Isabel, hello. Isabel said, I just left the place of employment because they did not value me and they did not care that I left.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Isabel. It sounds like you did the right thing to leave. If it wasn't a good fit, the workplace is a place where you go to get a paycheck. It's a wonderful thing to be able to make friends there, and you certainly don't want to go to a place every day where nobody really cares whether you're coming in or not. That's a horrible feeling. But it sounds as though you are glad to be out of there, and hopefully you find a good place to land where people are going to look forward to seeing you every day because you are filling a role that they value and doing work that they value. And it sounds like a classic case of misalignment, maybe, where you are, not doing something that they were wanting you to do in a way that they wanted you to do it. But the important thing I want you to remember is that that was not your place. I personally have a terrible singing voice. If someone asked me to try out for the Metropolitan, if I tried to try out for the Metropolitan Opera in New York, I would be laughed off stage. And that's what I think of. I have been fired. I have been in a workplace where I was the golden shining star, and I did everything better and faster than anyone had done it before me. And a lot of people did not like me for that. And I've been in a place where I just could not get the hang of things, and I was summarily dismissed. And in one of those places, I was, everything clicked. I had what I had the skill to do what they needed me to do, and I could do it, and I really liked it. It captured my imagination, it captured my creativity. It was fantastic. In the other place, it was like I had tried out for the Metropolitan Opera. And did it take me a really long time to recover from? Yes, I'm not going to lie to you, it did. But you know what? I used it to help other people now. And I can talk about it now. And I'm really, in retrospect, I'm really glad that it happened to me, because I'm able to tell other people it happened to me, and I got through it, and I got back on the path, and I found another job where I was valued, and I did find someone who wanted my skills, and I was in alignment with what they wanted me to do, and I was valued, and I, picked up and dusted off and got back on the track. So my recommendation to you, I don't know if you're working yet, my recommendation to anybody who leaves a job not on their own terms or not feeling good about themselves, take off the time that you can. Even if it's just 2 weeks, even if it's just a week, get out of your head. Don't think about it. Do a physical project if you can, learn how to cook something, learn how to run a mile or 4 miles or whatever it is you can do. Take language courses. Do not think about it. Totally get out of your head. Your inclination at first is to jump online, call every friend you know, get everybody you possibly can to help you. And what happens is you sound a little desperate. Anybody sounds a little desperate. You you burn everything, every contact you have in the first couple weeks, and you come to the end of the first 2 or 3 weeks and you're like, oh, I'm exhausted. I can't do this anymore. And that's the time when you should be starting to feel good and starting to gear up, when you're not feeling desperate and you're starting to think, okay, what is it that I want next? I'm not going to just jump into the next thing. So if you did really just leave and you are really in that space where you're like, feel like you don't know whether up is down, try to clear your head before you do anything and start again, and really try to think about finding a place, not doing the exact same thing or working for the exact same kind of people, but doing something where you will not have a repeat of what you did, but where you really understand what it is they want you to do, and that you know that you will be able to do it and do it well.
Excellent. And she said she feels like she wasted 5 years. And,
Yeah.
I've been there too. I had a job at Leo Burnett Advertising in downtown Chicago. And it was challenging when we lost a client and they had to let go of a bunch of us. And it was not fun. It's not fun at all.
Don't worry about 5 years. Be glad it's not 10, and know that there's going to be something better for you.
Right.
And Delora, I'm very jealous. It sounds like you work in a doggy daycare, which would be my dream role.
He works from home, and this is one of her coworkers.
Oh.
One of her coworkers just sleeping on the job, and the other coworker has obviously a bigger office. So, there's her 2 love bugs. And Isabel, what I was going to say to you is, think about also smudging yourself. Really cleanse all the schmutz and the gook, because that energy kind of sticks with us. So you want to cleanse yourself, bringing a little bit of the woo-woo piece so you can go into the next, whatever the next step is, a little clearer.
Miranda, I want to address your question. People who have limited skills, do people work for free to gain skills anymore? There are you talking about kind of technical office skills? Because can you give me? Okay, so there are a number of free online courses where you can get certificates to get skills. So Google has a number of courses where you can get certified in something like data analytics. you can get certified in Microsoft Office Suite. So the big ones, of course, are Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. There's a place, if you're interested in social media, there's a site called HubSpot University where you can go and get free social media skills to learn the tools of doing posting, which is a good kind of entry-level skill set to have. And if there's a specific skill that you would like to learn, I would not be surprised if you could go online and Google a free course in it, and you would be able to find it and get a certificate in it. And you can put that certificate on your resume with a significant amount of, an employer will put a significant amount of credibility into something, either a LinkedIn course, a Google course, something like a HubSpot University course. There are other schools out there that do offer free training online. They can be fairly intensive, but if you get that certificate, it does mean something and it will help you get a job. That is a better bet than hoping that somebody will train you online. There are things called off-the-shelf software versus proprietary software. Off-the-shelf software is something like a Google or something that LinkedIn will train you on, like a LinkedIn software, which a lot of companies use. Salesforce, a lot of companies ask for Salesforce. Salesforce has free demos where you can get the idea about it. I don't know if Salesforce has a free course online. They may. That's an off-the-shelf platform that you can get experience in online. Something that's proprietary is something that the company built itself. They will train you in a proprietary software system. However, if you have learned to use, for example, Tableau, which is the Google database system, you have a basic idea of how databases work. And then if you get trained on a proprietary database that, for example, a big pharmaceutical company uses, it will be easier for you to go up the learning curve of a proprietary database if you have understanding of an off-the-shelf database. So anything in, the big three, that Excel, PowerPoint, which is presentation software, and then of course Word, the word processing software. And then if you've got a database, a LinkedIn, and a social media, you'd be in really good shape. You'd be really attractive for a general admin kind of role or anything that stems off of that.
That's really good info. Really good info, you guys. Let me ask here. Is anybody working on here just for themselves, or is anybody not working and looking for a job? Because thriving, how you feel about yourself, is going to put you in that thriving mode. I mean, that's obviously our theme for this month is thrive. So how do you thrive? How you thrive at home could be different how you thrive at work. A lot of people are very much into just that. This is my work. They're very separate. Some people are who you see is, at home is what you get, and here it is. And this is, I run my household like I run my my work. But I'd like to know how many of you are either in the work field or currently not working or doing your own thing. And where would you like to thrive more? In what area would you like to thrive more? Isabel says, yes, I will. Okay, excellent. Good job. Good job. Hey, Susan. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. How about commission type work like art or tattoo?
Wow, that's well, on the online marketplace is your friend, just like Elias and I. You need to develop a reputation. You need to market yourself. it's really difficult to both do the work and keep the pipeline full of potential projects. So the way you structure your time is really, really difficult. Unless you work with somebody who helps give you commission. So if you hook up with somebody who is a well-known artist, or, you know, whatever type of art you do, somebody who does a lot of that and gets enough work that they will sub it out to you. So if I'm a tattoo artist and I'm so well known and so famous that I can only do 50 a month, but I get requests to do 75, I'm looking for somebody to take 25 off my hands. If I get $100 per tattoo, and I want you to do it, I'll give you 25 a month. You're not as successful as me, so you'll get 80, but you have to give me 20, so you won't make as much. And finding somebody who has so much business that they're willing to give business away is pretty hard. So if you're going to feed yourself and keep marketing, then you have to come up with some kind of platform that's going to really help you stand out. So you need to find a niche. Like, are you going to do American flags, or are you going to do purely Celtic designs, something that catches people's eyes? And then you're going to have to, you know, develop a following, maybe by posting every day, or maybe by, you know, covering every place in your town, or maybe by doing it, you know, coming up with booths at local art shops, or, you know, somehow finding a way to do your thing. So it's difficult, and it's difficult to take it from a hobby to a business, but if you need to set your expectations appropriately. So, okay, it costs me $25 to do every tattoo with the supplies, and it takes me 4 hours, and I have 10 hours a week. So the most I can make is this. But I probably will only have, if that's with 10 clients a week, but I probably may only get 3 clients a week. So, you know, how much am I actually going to get? So you need to run some numbers. You need to figure out how much time it's going to take to do the marketing as much as the tattoos. And you kind of need a business plan, and you need to figure out, you know, a lot more than just being good at the tattoos or being good at the art. So it's really a huge time commitment, and you need to be as much of a business person as an artist. All that said, there are online marketplaces like Etsy, like Upwork, which I think does not allow for art. It's mostly business services, but if it's your passion, I don't want to throw water on it. You know, it just is maybe a lot more complicated than you think. And if it's something that's going to make you really happy, absolutely go for it.
Happiness is so important, guys. So important. Diana says, I'm starting work in summer school, but don't have full-time position for the fall, but also taking real estate classes. Okay, good for you. You're following what your heart says. Dolores says, I'm doing my own thing. I gave too much of myself to corporate job and burnt out, focusing on balance of work life. Yes. Miranda's got all the questions tonight, Amy. What about digital nomads? As I understand it, not many online jobs have low job security.
I think that's changing a little. Oh yeah, have high job security. Certainly a lot of jobs now are remote. People can live kind of anywhere and do a job. It depends on the line of work that you're in. I think the higher specialization of tech that you are in, the better the relationship that you have with the company, or longer tenure, and the more trust people have in you. So there's 2 ways to do that. You can be a highly specialized data security analyst, so that people want your skills, your specific set of skills that fill a particular niche so badly. Your company has a client, has NASA for a client, and you understand how to talk to aerospace engineer. You were an aerospace engineer who now specializes in quantum physics and keeping data safe. So you are the key things that somebody needs to do in this role is to understand data security, and be able to understand when aeronautical engineers talk about quantum physics. So you're one of like 10 people in the country. That's a little extreme. You're one of like 1,000 people who can fit that role. They don't care where you live, as long as you can do those three things. That's, somebody that's really highly specialized, has great job security. Or you are somebody who has been at Leo Burnett, which doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, but Leo Burnett, or they're part of somebody bigger. And you have worked on the Pepsi account for 20 years, and you know where all the bodies are buried, and you have a lower specialty. You have a lower thing. Maybe you've run social media since it started, but you know every campaign that Pepsi's ever done. So they need your institutional knowledge, even though you are in a fairly low-level role. So you can move to Colorado, and they're fine with that because you have that institutional knowledge, even though you're in a low role. So you have a lot of tenure with the company, and that matters. Now, there's plenty of jobs in the middle where they'll hire you from anywhere because you just don't need to interact with people that much, or you don't need to come into the office as a digital nomad. But you probably have to have a pretty specialized skill set for that particular company. And it's probably pretty techy because the other kinds of jobs need softer skill sets. And more and more they're coming. I have some clients who just got a political data analyst jobs where they can be digital nomads. And certainly more of the jobs are, you don't have to be in an office more than 3 days a week. Or you can be within a certain geographical area, like maybe you can be in New York and go to DC a couple times a month. Being in Seattle and having your office be in New York and going there twice a year falls into one of those categories that I mentioned, but there's a lot of jobs in between. High job security anywhere these days is kind of a misnomer. But there's certainly plenty of jobs that are remote now that you can get. And again, it's kind of linked to how your level of technical knowledge and specificity of technical knowledge.
Which is, I think you should go for it, Miranda.
Yeah.
Go for it. I see that my friend Cindy Garena is here. Cindy from Chicago. Hello, my friend. So nice to have you on here. And Al, you're here, and Cameron, you're here. Great to see you guys. I can't see you on here because I think I did press the button or something, but who knows? Who knows with me? Miranda says, thank you both. You're welcome. Social media moderation is growing, is a growing area as well. Yes, very true. Very true.
Although I worry about social media because I think a lot of the entry-level roles, some of the people I work with are going to be replaced by AI. I think it used to be a great entry-level role to be a social media community manager. So one of the roles that was great for many years for a lot of new college grads was to be a community manager. So for example, one of my clients had their client was Westinghouse washer dryers, and Westinghouse washer dryers sponsored a TV soap that was, I think it was on BET. It was like a family that ran a Motown kind of record, but modern. And they used to do like hashtag, can you believe she just said that? Or can you believe she just slapped him? And my client would go online and do, can you believe that just happened? Hashtag the name of the show, and try to drum traffic up for this hashtag on Twitter or X. And then every 10th post, they would put up an ad for Westinghouse washer and dryers. And all the demographics and analytics had been done that people who watched this show were like early 30s, homeowners, new kids who would be in the market for washers and dryers. So that's why Westinghouse sponsored the show. And that's how they put budget into social media, was to drum up these hashtag communities where everybody talked about the show and can you believe what just happened? And then they would put the ads in front of them. All that's going to be AI generated from now on. So I wouldn't be surprised if training programs start again instead of the entry level jobs like that. But that's a different story and a different
story.
different seminar.
You can also think about, guys, clearing, we talked a little bit about this, clearing your office space, making your office space. Now, you don't want to do it in front of everybody unless you're comfortable in doing it in front of everybody, but you want to ground your office space, set an intention in your office space, put in the thought of thriving in the workplace. And what does that look like for you? Write it down if you need to. And if you don't have a job, my job looks like this. And actually visualize what kind of job, what kind of energy are you calling into that work field? How many hours are you at work, everybody? You're at, I believe people are with the commute are at work more than they're sleeping per day. So think about that.
Yeah. Delora asked about training to learn AI. It's funny. So I always wonder, people say, oh, they just got a certificate in AI. And I'm like, I don't really know what that means. AI is like, it's like a computer. So if you think about a computer and learning about a computer, so a computer is just a tool, right? I mean, you can learn to write letters, you can learn to FaceTime, you can learn to do a million and one different things, right? And AI is kind of like that. It's a tool that allows you to do a lot of different things in the workplace, in your personal life. It can answer questions. It can create writing for you. At this point, it can do a lot of different things. And in the business world, there's consulting firms that are getting paid a lot of money right now to teach businesses how to use AI. The best thing to do is to be aware of how AI is being used as a tool in different ways. There's a podcast, I don't know the name of it, but there's a zillion podcasts about AI, right? There's a couple that I listen to that are, 25-year-old kids, but they do a podcast sometimes twice a week, sometimes once, sometimes just a week. They're 10 minutes, and they talk about what happens, what's going on in AI, and what the new applications are of AI. So they came out with, like when it was, what first it came out, God, it was November of 2 years ago. And they said, okay, it's this chat box thing came out, and it can only tell you up to 2009. Anything that happened before 2009, it'll tell you. And then they told you when Microsoft linked it to today's data. And then now they'll tell you, what it can tell, what it gets right and what it gets wrong. And it tells you like how much it's growing, how many people have signed on to this Reddit post of all developmental and software engineers who follow the stream. And it tells you, it just like summarizes what's going on in the AI community and what the newest bells and whistles are of it and what the things that aren't working on it. It's 10 minutes a day, and it's 10 minutes a week. And it's a pretty good substitute because there's so much to sort through, but these guys like boil it down for you if you're not an engineer. So just listen a little bit about what it can do and what it can't do, and try to not freak out about the hype, basically, because it's just going to be a tool that you will use the way you use your computer.
And isn't that about our span? Like we can take in about that 10 minutes and that's about it, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah. And these guys are like, they're kind of cute. They're like, whoa, you're not going to believe this.
That's good. That's good. Does anybody have any questions for Amy? I know we're like kind of speeding right through. We weren't going to do a long one today because it is a holiday day, but
I can talk about this for a long time.
And you have so much knowledge, really, truly, so much knowledge. I'm so bummed about Instagram, but that's okay. Does anybody else have any questions, any concerns that are coming up? I'm checking on because I want to make sure that I didn't miss
You
any.
too, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Good to see you. And a note for the privacies with AI, not suggested for proprietary
Yeah.
info. The apps own the info you asked for. Wow. Who knew? Kelly, hey, Kelly.
Well, you're talking. I'll find it, Kelly. 1 second.
So I want you guys, all of you that are listening or watching the replay, do me a favor. Get a piece of paper because we have, what is it? We have the new moon coming up. Get a paper and focus it on work, the work that you do, the work that you want, and literally write down, I'm thriving in my workplace. I am thriving in my workplace. And write down the gratitude. Now, again, even if you don't have this, write down the gratitude. I'm so grateful for this, in the workplace. And I want you to put that in a jar. I want you to put it in a bowl somewhere where you're not going to lose it until we do something with it for. I wasn't going to do a new moon, but after listening to Amy, I'd like to do something that is a little bit more hyper focused, if you will, because we're talking about thriving, right? We all want to thrive in something. We want to do a good job. We want to feel that we're worthy. We want to feel that we're respectful. And I know Carson put it on here, and it's true. Really think about, shameless plug, guys. Come to the Get Your Groove Back, this 5-week series, and see how it feels like to trust your intuition, to face your fears, to look at the different noises that we create, the chaotic noise that's inside and outside. So take a look. Go to the events page and take a look. Did you find it, Amy?
I did. I think I think the one am listening to would be hard to start now, but I'm going to send you one, Elias, that you can share with the group, called A Beginner's Guide to AI.
Okay.
And that is didn't start that long ago, and it looks like it's one of the top ones. So
Okay. I hope you all got that. I hope you all got that. Thank you. Do you have anything coming up? Any classes? What are you working on next?
I'm actually doing some market research to see if people would be interested in webinars, because I mostly do one-to-one, but it prices a lot of people out. So I would like to start doing some group classes around more specific issues, around things like getting aligned in your workspace to make the most of the job you have. So if anyone has any recommendations of specific issues they would be dealing with and would like to address, or ideas for blog posts that specific, one-off problems they might want to look into, or problems they're struggling with, I would love to hear about it, because I'm always collecting research. Quick, what BA degree is most transferable for greatest career growth or for a marketable master's? I always, it's a good question. It's a question I get a lot. It's a question that is really hard to answer, because one of my founding philosophy is the most important question in any interview, any job, related function is, why do you want this job? And you need to have an authentic answer as to why you want this job. So I don't like to start with, what job can I get, but to start with what it is you really want to do. And I also happen to believe that whatever kind of degree you get, it's not as much about teaching you the information as it is about teaching you the discipline. So I honestly do believe that you can transfer. Now, a master's degree is an entirely different story, but I do know people who were French majors who became architects, and the level of discipline that they got by learning all of the detailed iterations of French verbs and the absorbing French culture and translating that into the kinds of projects that they needed to do, the travel that they needed to do, had a huge impact on them as architects. And they were able to make that case, because when they got asked the questions, why is it that you want to become an architect? They said, I love studying French language and translating that into, I want to translate that into something substantive like a building. And I love math and I love building. And I really want to take my love of French language and culture and turn it into buildings and create something that's going to be lasting. So no matter what it is that you love studying, and I do believe study and loving something can get you to where you want to go, even if it is not related to the field that you're in. I hope that makes sense. You need to get a job, you need to prove these things, that you understand what it is the company does and what you would be doing in the role, to prove that you have the skills to do it, and to prove that you want it. And I think a lot of people fall down, certainly most of the candidates I ever interviewed fell down on understanding what it is that you would do in the role. And also, companies do a really terrible job. Society does a really job of explaining what jobs there are. If there is a job, if I always say it's like an app, if there's something you're interested in doing, if there's an app for that, there is a job for that. You would not believe how many jobs there are in the world. I have a chapter in my book, not to plug it too hard, but just if you think about how many jobs there are during the day, if you think about how many jobs it takes to bring you a cup of coffee, there are, bean roasters. There are people who go out and, buy the beans. There are people who just figure out how to get the beans through transport. There are bills of lading that go as it goes through. There are bean roasters. There are people that design the menus. There are people that identify how to decorate the stores. There are real estate people. There are people that sell the paper goods that get put in the bathrooms. And there are people that write the algorithms to say, we're at a city store. We don't have an unlimited amount of space for cups, but we can't sell coffee without cups. So how many cups do we sell each day, and how many cups can we store in each day? I mean, if you think about life, you think about how many jobs there are to take it going, and you can eventually find something that is of interest to you. So there's so many jobs. Yeah. I mean, if there's anything about education should be interesting and exciting, and it should get you excited about maybe making a difference in the world. And I'm sorry if that sounds like really very floaty, but it is, and again, this is where my world kind of intersects with Elias's, because it's something I feel really passionate about. And I could probably do a whole session with Elias and you guys on that too. So anyway.
And Amy's website is HireAHiringManager.com if you want more information. They can also email you there, correct?
Absolutely. And I also, just the last thing, there are 3 things, whether it's in any job description, every manager wants. It's being detail oriented, because everybody's had a presentation go out the door with a mistake. There is being well organized, because everybody has had an employee who, when you go in and say, can you give me that number from last quarter? And there's the employee that goes, sure, and looks everywhere and can't find it, and says, oh, I'll get it to you in 5 minutes, versus the employee that says, it's 439. And then their third one is being able to stay calm under pressure. And that is, so everyone in the company, from the receptionist to the CEO, is going to have 3 people come to their desk and say, I need this in 5 minutes. And they're going to come at the same time. And you have to have the presence of mind to say, what do you need it? And why do you need it exactly? And be able to say, okay, you're getting it in 5 minutes, you're getting it in 15, you're getting it in an hour. So, those 3 skills are the ones that you need. You get that if you have those if you get good grades. You get those if you've been a waitress or a waiter over the summer. There's a lot of way to get those skills. And that's like, again, a common sense thing for business. Okay, I'll get off my horse.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Kelly says, I would like to connect people in disaster trauma to the resources they need to thrive. I really am not excited about a social work degree, but it might lead to an independent career.
I don't think you need to necessarily have a social work degree. I think you could take a degree in 20th century history. I think you could take a degree in emergency med. You could take an emergency medicine degree in outside of school. Get an EMT kind of thing. I think you could you could get a graduate degree in philanthropy. There's all sorts of ways to get to that. I know people who work for UNICEF, and I don't think any of them have social work degrees. So I would really challenge the belief that you need one, and congratulate and really applaud you for having that goal.
And there's we haven't talked about this, but I am currently looking into I'll depend on what scholarships and grants and all that fun stuff is. I'm looking into finishing my degree and getting a master's in integrative psychology.
Nice.
So that's what it's interesting. Kelly says, I have an EMT.
That's awesome. That's great. And I would definitely, again, there's a lot of administrative work that goes on in the kind of work that I know that UNICEF people do. So I would really consider that kind of, a business management kind of role, or some kind of European history role, or a, conflict and resolution role. A degree, subject matter, general degree in liberal arts could be amazing. It could be really, really useful to that, especially if you took 20th century history in different regions where there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
You know what, Kelly? Set your mind to it. That's the important part. That is the important part. Again, guys, if you have ideas or you have thoughts for Amy wants to do kind of a group seminar thing, so please contact her. Again, go to HireAHiringManager.com. Again, the book College to Career: Explain Tools, Skills, Competence for Your Job Search. It is available on your website, right? And on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's available there. And oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Very helpful advice.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome. So
thank you all for just signing in tonight.
Yeah, because I know you guys are busy. I'm going to keep the fur babies calm this evening by turning up the music and turning up the TV really loud this evening. And Harry, if you guys already see, Harry's like sticking by me right now already. So he's just kind of like, he knows today's coming. And Willow's funny because she'll smell the fireworks smoke and she'll run back inside. She's like, even if it's like really calm, we'll see. So everyone, have a beautiful 4th, a safe and healthy 4th. Be safe out there. I will be on the Tiki Talk tomorrow. On and off will all depend. And I will, I might pop on here. We'll see. Amy, you always are welcome whenever you want to come back on. And guys, Amy has an amazing podcast. It's one of my first podcasts on mindbodyspirit.fm. Please go listen to that. I tried the Thunder shirts. They didn't help. Let me just tell you. So slap sparklers on the counter. How much for an angry incense? That's funny. So What we've got coming up is Moira will be with us on July 11th. So next Wednesday, Delora and I are traveling to Iowa. So for the retreat. So we will not have Wednesday night. We'll be on Thursday night. We go back to Wednesday night on July 17th with Brandy Hudson. She is a happiness coach. So we're going to talk about thrive in happiness. And then we've got Lisa Wilson the following on the 24th. And she's going to talk about thriving as a spiritual practitioner. And then on the 31st, I'm traveling. So we will not have a speaker that evening, but we've got exciting stuff happening in August. August, guys, Dolores going to be on, but also in August, we have Jenny Marie, who is, she had her own show on the TLC channel. She was Mama Medium. So I'm super excited to have her. We had to, when I got COVID, I had to cancel. So I'm excited to have her on. Amy, again, thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your concert tomorrow. And remember, guys, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate. And we educate, we grow. There's unity in community. From our hearts to yours. Be well, everybody. Have a beautiful night and a happy 4th. Take care.